Hello, everyone. Welcome to our online launch event. We're very excited to kickstart the year and be back on stage. My name is Angus, and I'm the head of product marketing at Poco Global. Now, it's actually been over 6 months since I've stepped on stage, so it feels a little bit weird. But first, I want to wish everyone a belated Happy New Year. We're very excited to enter 2023 with lots of new products aligned. It will be one of a kind of year. Now, 2023 also marks a special milestone for us. The Poco brand will be 5 years old in 2023, and we've done a lot in the last 5 years. We went from being only known for the Poco F1 to expanding to multiple series, bringing social media content, and building out the Poco community family. Every event and action we do is an effort for us to get to know you guys better. Now, in 2022, we tested out the waters to get even more information about what you guys need or want, which is why we launched 9 products in very different segments last year, from our F4 series to our newly introduced C series. 9 products in a year was a challenge for us, but it was a necessary challenge. We saw massive success with multiple models, which taught us more about what we should be doing this year. In 2023, we will be showcasing what we learned, and X series will be what we're introducing today. Today, we will be introduced the X5 series, which we believe is made for the young content consumers and creators. For the first time, we will be launching the base and the Pro together. So let's get started. Our Poco X5 5G will be the first to be introduced. And what you need to know about this device is, with the X5, its experience is just right. Everything is just right. But what do we really mean by just right? With what we learned from last year, most of us are actually content consumers. We spend most of our time on social media, texting our friends, streaming, and surfing the web or reading the news. Which got us thinking, if you're in the market for a phone that can easily handle all the basics and not break your wallet, most users don't need to consider a smartphone above $600. Today, our X5 5G can meet all of those needs. Actually, we want to reset the standard of a $200 segment smartphone with our Poco X5. Technology has been growing so fast, and in 2023, smartphone technology has really matured to the point where mid-range devices are getting really, really good. So when we come back to this, with content consumption in mind, what is the single most important feature related to all of it? The right display. We want to offer just the right display because it's probably the one thing we look at most from a digital device in our daily lives nowadays. So quality and eye care are really important. We realize that in the current segment of $200 smartphones, a lot of mid-rangers are still mostly using LCD panels, which was probably fine last year. But in 2023, we want to be one of the first to change that trend. This is why we're providing AMOLED tech display with our Poco X5. It's the first X series base model that features an AMOLED display, and it's just such a wonderful experience. With AMOLED technology, one of the most obvious difference is that you can see incredible contrast ratio between the two, as LCD has light lighting up the whole panel, and AMOLED is individual smaller lights lighting up smaller areas that makes up the whole thing. So the color black, for example, becomes even more real with AMOLED, and the colors become more vivid. Now, moving on to brightness, when you compare the panels next to each other, is how bright AMOLED can get. With AMOLED, peak brightness allows you to see your display as bright as needed. But not only it's bright, of course, without AMOLED in the Poco X5, we have DCI-P3 wide color gamut, which brings accurate coloring to our users' viewing experience. When you stream really colorful content, such as nature documentaries on your smartphone, it's really immersive and true to life. Now, I did say that in most smartphones in this segment, they are using LCD panels, but some do feature AMOLED. That's just the first step. What's the next step? How about the speed? How do we really change the standard? Featuring 120 Hz refresh rate in an affordable range. High refresh rate has become the standard in flagship phones. In 2023, we want to bring that down to $200 segment as well. We want to take the lead by giving you one of the highest refresh rate on the segment on an AMOLED panel. This is why our team at Poco is so confident about the Poco X5's display. It really is the right display for all your daily content consumption. Swiping through Amazon, Twitter, TikTok so smoothly while viewing with great colors and quality. But not only the X5 screen is top quality and smooth, eye care is absolutely critical. The X5's AMOLED display has passed 2 display tests, the SGS Eye Care test and the Seamless Pro display test, making sure that even throughout long hours of usage, the X5 is doing its best ability to protect your eyesight as much as possible. Now let's check out a video that describes the Poco X5's display. So this is our Poco X5 display, just right for content consumption, with all the essential features of quality, smoothness, and in this segment, we're absolutely confident. It'll stand out from the rest of the competitors and offer a flagship level viewing experience to our users. Up next, let's talk about performance, something our fans have always taken extra notice of. In our Poco X5, we will be featuring the Snapdragon 695. Now, this processor came from its Pro model from last year, which we were extremely satisfied with. Now, this also means for the first time, our X series from base and Pro will be 5G has done all of these tests to ensure our quality. And lastly, we've got camera. Now, I did say earlier, this smartphone is all about content consumption, but that doesn't mean we don't have a capable camera. With our X5 5G, it features a 48 megapixel triple camera that is just right for your daily shots. We all have those moments where we want to capture something quick, whether it's something you want to remember or a great photo of family and friends. So let's take a look at some sample shots. With our Poco X5 5G, we have a variety of camera modes to meet your daily use, to capture your most precious moments in life with different lenses. Main sensor to capture the landscapes, ultra-wide for group photos, macro for close-up shots, and portrait to showcase your most beautiful self. And, of course, selfie camera. We all like to take that selfie once in a while. But we also have a great deal of video modes that you can play around with. Now, out of all of these modes, my favorite is still the movie filters. It's such a cool feature for your short travel videos with your loved ones and friends. So this is our Poco X5 5G. Everything just right for content consumption, with a great display that stands out from the rest of the segment and other features that meet your daily needs and more. So again, if you're in the market for a phone and you're not a heavy user on creating content or gaming, this is a device for you. So should we reveal the price? Just the right price. I said it earlier and enforced it in almost every category. We're fighting hard in the $200 segment. So let's take a look at a comparison first. Now, when we compete ourselves against one of our competitors in the market, in every single category, we're either on par or better. Especially in performance, display features, and charging, we take the lead. Now, their current promotional price, not launch price, is around $270. So let's check out our RRP price for the Poco X5. Starting at $249 for the low variant and $299 for our high variant. So we're hitting that 200 segment hard with so many great features. Now, I did say it's in the new year. We want to give you that big early bird discount. So with the early bird, it starts at $199 and $249. $199. So we actually just punched below the $200 range for our base model. This is just the right price for sure. So when we come back to this, even when the competitor has a promotional price, our early bird is offering much more value. And even with our RRP price and our base variant, it's still lower. So the Poco X5 5G, with everything it brings, it offers one-of-a-kind value in this segment. Now, the channel availability will be starting February 7th, tomorrow. Don't miss out. Make sure to follow your local social media region accounts to stay up to the latest offers and prices. Now, we talked about our base model. Let's talk about X Series Pro models, which has always been one of the best, if not actually the best-selling model for our brand. Ever since the Poco X3 Pro in 2021, we've had huge success in this line of products. And last year, when we launched the all-around ace, the Poco X4 Pro 5G, it was also a huge success. It was loved by our media friends, saying it's a big improvement all around, punching way above the price point. It was a hit. In fact, it was such a hit. Just at the end of 2022, Mr. Who's the Boss, one of the biggest tech YouTubers, crowned the Poco X4 Pro 5G as the best budget phone of 2022. And since the launch of February in 2022, we shipped more than 2.2 million units globally. So this was definitely one of the best-selling smartphones for us that year. But like I said earlier, the Poco X5 5G, the base model, is geared towards those who are content consumers. And this year, we want to gear the Poco X5 Pro for the creators, which means we actually have to tailor to more of their needs as their demands grow. Pro models will have more of a capability of gaming, photography, and videography compared to the base model. So let's introduce the Poco X5 Pro 5G. Now, in my opinion, this might be the fan favorite device this year. So what is the theme? The secret to win. We believe the Poco X5 Pro is one of the best devices we've drawn up and created ever. which is why our aim this year for the Poco X5 Pro 5G is to be the best smartphone in the $300 segment. It's a bit ambitious, but with the success of previous X Pro models, we definitely have the confidence. So let's get started. First up, winning performance. I know this has always been a crucial point for our X Pro models. Now, what do we mean by winning performance? What's the secret to winning performance? We learned in the market when you go full on performance, overheats and battery consumption becomes an issue, but when you care too much about power efficiency, you lack performance. Winning performance is all about achieving the great balance of both, which is why we decided to put the Snapdragon 778G in our Poco X5 Pro, one of the most beloved and perfect balanced chipset on the market. Now, the 778G is a very mature processor, but one of the best ever released by Snapdragon. With 4 A78 cores and 4 A55 cores, it has a rare structure even till today. And compared to the new chips, it still matches them with the TSMC 6nm process. So honestly, one of the best processors I've ever come across at this price point. But I do want to highlight a few things on this processor because I will explain the gaming performance shortly. But one thing that really stands out on the Snapdragon 778G is its ISP, so image signal processor. At 2 gigapixels per second, it can process your videos, photos faster than before. And when it comes to make your camera even smarter, with 12 TOPS, which means trillion operations per second, it can recognize which environment faster when you're taking photos and then adjust to it faster. The Snapdragon 778G has that capability, which is why on top of the performance that it's already quite known for, this is a forgotten area. But of course, when we take an overall look of the whole processor and Antutu score against one of the recent mid-range chipsets that has been released, the MediaTek 1080, it still overtakes it. Now, everyone would assume, yes, newer could be better, but we have a different take. To me, SoCs are actually starting to become like cars. A slightly newer car doesn't necessarily mean it's better. The industry is changing fast, and at Poco, we rather choose right than rush to the new. And for those who want to see some FPS testing, we also ran the Poco X5 Pro on a gaming test. It uses PUBG as a benchmark, but the Poco X5 Pro was able to get an average of 59 FPS with just a temperature of 39.8. So it's super cool, but yet very smooth. The overall hardware for speed and power on X5 Pro is winning all around. But we also improved on the software. Introducing the MIUI 14 for Poco. This is our latest OS. And I want to talk about two things we've really optimized this time around. First, I want to talk about how we optimize RAM. This is one of the two key functions that really boosted the overall performance. Now, usually, there's a lot of small apps, widgets, running all the time in the background. So even when a device comes and let's just say you have 6 GB of RAM, you don't actually have the full 6 GB of RAM, which is kind of given. But we want to optimize as much as possible to give our users more usable RAM, which is why we optimize functions such as auto start process as the first step. And then a lot more system app usage have been optimized for smaller RAM occupation. And lastly, the overall platform memory usage became smaller on MIUI 14, which means there will be more usable RAM for our users to run their apps that are actually using. So you might think this is a small feature, but throughout time, throughout usage, it makes a huge difference. And next, we have storage optimization. Now, storage is always a tricky thing. Even when you're making a purchase of a smartphone, you sometimes question, which setup do I need to get? The 128 gigabyte, the 256 gigabyte, which one is enough? Or which one is too much? We understand you want to maximize your storage space, which is why we all have this one problem as smartphone users. Maybe not all, but the huge majority of us. We download a bunch of apps and we just use it once or twice, and then we just leave it there. And before you know it, you're running low on storage. With MIUI 14 for Poco, it will calculate your usage time. So if you haven't touched the app for 1 month, it will automatically compress it for you to create more space. So it's super handy and you never have to worry. So this is our Poco X5 Pro's performance. A winning performance achieved by a great processor and software. No matter what task you throw at it, it's probably going to run pretty great. Now, earlier, we did mention about how great the Snapdragon 778G is in camera capabilities. So let's talk about a winning camera. Now, based on our knowledge from last year, we understand a lot of users really loved and really care about camera on the Poco X series. So we want to establish what is a winning camera in 2023. To us, it's got to be clear, versatile, and fast. So clear meaning quality, versatile meaning it's got lots of different functions, and fast means it can actually capture on the spot, which is why one of the first decisions we want to bring back is 108 megapixel. It worked super well in the Poco X4 Pro 5G, and we think it's the winning camera in this segment. But besides 108 megapixel on the Poco X5 Pro, we also feature an ultra-wide camera and a macro camera. Now, some of you may think it's a very similar camera from last year. However, it's actually about choosing the right processor with the right lens. It can unlock amazing possibilities and quality that is different. There is a big correlation between the two. If you have a great lens, but the processor can't really catch up to it, it's not as useful. So firstly, we have these two working together, so speed, night mode, and photography quality has greatly improved compared to the last generation. So experience is completely different. So let's check out the internal structure of this 108 megapixel, and then we jump straight into the photo. Now, with an advanced 108 megapixel, we took this very cool shot. It's got great colors, great details, looks spectacular. But what makes 108 megapixel fun to play around with? It's the ability to really zoom in after you've taken the shot and see some details. So over here, when you zoom in closer, you can actually see we placed a little X pin on the collar of the models. So we were playing around the story, making an X series. 108 megapixel would probably be one of the most entertaining and pro lens in the smartphone market. But up next, we have night mode, which is something I've really realized our fans love to use. So let's check out the latest night mode shot. With our 9-in-1 bidding technology on the Poco X5 Pro, we've actually really improved our night mode. In fact, with the 778G's capabilities, night mode becomes clearer and crisper than before. In this shot, we also played around the element of X, and the model just still looks very clear and posing very cool. And then we also took an ultra-wide shot with an X element. We're just having a little bit of fun here. Ultra-wide is always practical for capturing more, especially for group photos. And then we have our portrait mode, so you can take a shots of your friends or yourself looking very handsome or beautiful. And lastly, we also have the macro camera, a small feature that can bring out some creativity when you're shooting small objects. The Poco X5 Pro has all the modes, but comes with clarity and quality. So make sure you play around with it. Create some pro content that you can share with others. But besides photos, with the power of 778G, we're also bringing 4K to the X5 Pro, allowing you to capture Ultra HD content when you're traveling to places with beautiful landscapes and scenery. And while you're traveling, make sure you take a vlog video to capture those small burst moments of joy and mix it all in one. It's like a personal recap video. It's a mode I've been exploring and hoping to create more as I travel. Now, we spoke a lot about the photo modes and the video modes of the X5 Pro. Now let's check out video going through all the capabilities of the X5 Pro's camera. To sum up our Poco X5 Pro's camera, it really is our winning camera. With the help of a mature and fast processor, as well as software improvements, everything changes. Everything becomes better. We want to ensure the X5 Pro's camera is fast, versatile, and clear for our content creators, giving them all the necessary features and tools to create the winning content. So with all those awesome videos and photos being created, of course, we need a winning display. Now everyone knows in this segment of mid-range Pro models, AMOLED isn't that rare anymore. In fact, it's actually quite the norm. So how do we take it to the next step? How does Poco X5 Pro 5G takes it to the next step? Today, we want to introduce Flow AMOLED, which is also known as flexible display technology. So if you don't know what does flexible display mean, it's actually displays that can be folded or curved when necessary. It's a premium grade AMOLED technology, hence has lots of benefits that I'll explain shortly. This, of course, is the first Flow AMOLED for our X series. Now, the first Flow AMOLED was actually featured on our Poco F4 GT, which is our best flagship yet, but we're bringing this down to our X series. But what's the actual benefit? Well, the first thing is how it's designed. As you can see here, the display is actually folded in. So this makes the phone look so much better because the overall look will just become much thinner. It offers a ultra-thin bezel. Compared to our last generation, the chin becomes so much thinner, and that creates an immersive viewing experience. But then when we compare most displays in this segment, which uses a glass material AMOLED, Flow AMOLED is lighter and thinner, which will help the overall body feel. But that doesn't mean it's not sturdy. In fact, with Flow AMOLED, we did a drop resistance test for cracked screens. We dropped more than 100 units of X5 Pro from 1 meter, and the resistance achieved 90% plus improvement compared to the last generation. And of course, with all that, we still maintain all the flagship color features, such as DCI-P3 wide color gamut, 10-bit, and HDR10+, ensuring your Flow AMOLED experience is top-notch in all aspects. And with Dolby Vision on board as well, you can view certain content with crystal clear quality, boosting that viewing experience even more so. And just to mention, in case you're wondering, yes, the Poco X5 Pro 5G is on a 120 Hz refresh rate panel. So it offers the flagship combination of Flow AMOLED and 120 Hz experience. Smooth, colorful, and clear. Winning display. But there's more. With long hours of staring at your screen, we want to make sure with our Pro display, we do our absolute best to take care of your eyesight, which is why for the X5 Pro, we're introducing 1920 Hz PWM dimming, an absolute crucial feature for nighttime viewing. In dark environments, 1920 Hz PWM dimming will protect your eyes without sacrificing image quality under low light conditions. So let's take a look at a comparison video and how it works. So this is our winning display. Flow AMOLED to take the lead, one of the rarest feature in the $300 segment. 120 Hz to pair with it. Great colors, quality, and most importantly, eye care that this segment rarely has as well. This is what we deem as a winning display. Up next, let's talk about battery. We've gone through pretty much everything that eats up a smartphone battery. So what does winning battery mean to us? It means never have battery anxiety. We want to help those who are anxious about running out of battery when they're out and want a quick charge. It happens to the best of us. When we've got to go out, we take a look at our smartphone, 23% left. What are we going to do? I got 15 minutes before I have to go outside. And you don't want to carry a power bank. You don't want to carry a charger. But don't worry, the Poco X5 Pros also got an all-day battery with turbo charging. And with our Pro model, we still have an all-day battery of 5,000 milliamp, so the duration is still pretty great. And when we do need to charge up really quickly, we're bringing the 67-watt turbo charging. This is the best combination in my opinion. 67 watt and 5,000 milliamp. So like I said earlier, when you have those moments or you forgot to charge your phone at night, In a time of a coffee break, you can charge up the phone up to 30%. Watch a TV episode of 20 minutes or so, and you'll be charged up to 70%. And if you're charging it while having a 30 minutes lunch break at work, it can charge up to 90%. It becomes so easy and stress-free. So with the combination of 5,000 milliamp battery and 67 watt turbocharging, you can actually charge up to 100% in just 46 minutes. That's winning charging speed right there. And in this segment of mid-rangers, we also compared ourselves with one of the A70 series, which has the same battery size. With 67 watts advantage over 25 watt, the difference is actually double. 46 minutes is super easy, and we're actually much shorter time. And along with 4K video recording and gaming, like the two features we mentioned earlier, you can get more than 5 hours and 7 hours. As you all know, those are very demanding features, but yet we can go for all day on a single charge. Of course, we will be pairing the 67 watt charger in box, so it's super handy for your travels. So you don't need to bring multiple chargers, just one to charge all your devices, your laptop, gaming console, earphones, or tablets. It's been great for me personally when I just have to bring one charger for my short trips. So a lot of powerful features. 108 megapixel, big battery, faster charging. Now this phone must be bulky for this range. Well, actually, we're so very much confident on winning design experience. Design has been very well thought out for the Poco X5 Pro. But what is winning design? We really had to dig in and ask ourselves this. Is it all about looking good? It's actually more than that. Looking good is absolutely important, but we also want the design to be sleek and functional. A good design experience must meet all three of these areas, which is why our Poco X5 Pro 5G is not bulky at all. In fact, it is our slimmest X series yet, sitting at 7.9 millimeters and 181 grams. We've made huge strides ever since our first Poco X3 NFC model, from 9.4 millimeter and over 200 grams. In 2 years' time, we've cut it down to below 8 millimeters and almost at 180 grams. So this makes one-hand usage and the overall feel of this series getting better and better each time. And to further improve hand feel experience, our Poco X5 Pro comes with a flat frame design, which is the winning factor to the ultimate hand feel and grip. Now, we talked about how it feels. Let's check out the colors. First, we have black on the Poco X5 Pro. Now, with the big deco design and the body, it actually makes up a two-tone black touch to it, making it more premium. And then we have blue, which, like I said earlier, this type of blue is super vibrant and young, like its little brother, the X5 5G. With a two-tone on a darker blue and a lighter blue, this also makes a great-looking device under bright environments. And lastly, we gave you guys a sneak peek earlier in earlier renders. Yellow, Poco yellow, but with a different feel, with black frames and a black camera deco, making a true contrast with the yellow and black. It looks super close. If you look closely, we also made the power button yellow as well, so it works really well with the black frame. Now, here are the three colors. We've got black, blue, and yellow. Now, my favorite's gotta be the yellow. Now, usually I'll probably choose black, but this yellow is really, really special. Which one is your favorite? And let us know in the comments below. Now, we talked about style, sleekness. What about functional design? And when it comes to hardware design, we have also kept a dual speaker setup that supports Dolby Atmos. This will give you an immersive sound experience that's great for viewing content or recapping your 4K videos. And another very important feature for design function is the phone's haptic. This is everything when it comes to the feel of each vibration that comes out of the phone. And trust me, having a good one really matters, which is why in our Poco X5 Pro is using an X-axis linear motor. It's flagship grade. So with all the design experience gone through, it really is a winning design experience.